Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by 2014 NFL Draft prospect out of Georgetown University, Dustin Wharton. Thanks for joining the show, Dustin. How's it going?
Going good. How about with you?
I'm doing great, and I gotta say it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to be talking a little bit about your college football career, and I'll start this interview off by asking you a pretty simple question, and that is, coming out of high school, why did you decide to attend Georgetown?
I just feel like it was the best fit for me, and kind of close to home, but in a good position. Really a prestigious school, and I felt coming out of high school, I was kind of underrated, I guess you could say, kind of undersized inside linebacker, trying to translate into a secondary position, and I felt like the coaches were really good for me, and they really liked me and welcomed me with open arms, and it was really just a good fit for me, I felt, and my family. So I feel like it was the best opportunity for me to succeed at the time and show my ability.
Dustin, I know growing up your father was really big into weightlifting, and it eventually passed down to you and your brother. And you actually broke some world records, including the teen division world record in the bench press with just over 440 pounds. Would you say that getting ready for those weightlifting competitions pretty much the same way you would get ready for a football game?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in power and explosiveness. Helping you the same way on the field as it does in the weight room, and it translates. For me, I feel so just kind of getting stronger for those things. I would train pretty much the same way, but obviously football, you need to develop way more skills, So I was just, so basically I would work the same way. But, I don't know. Just working on my strength and everything like that. I feel like it helped me in both aspects.
You mentioned coming into college, you were a linebacker. You're making the transition to change into a secondary position. You've actually played both strong safety and outside linebacker at Georgetown throughout the 4 years of your college football career. What are the similarities between playing the two positions, and how have you been able to have success at both safety and linebacker?
Well, I think just a combination of my speed and strength and ability to be on the perimeter, guard people while having strength to be able to go up against the linemen and things like that. So I think I'm a versatile player that can really play any position. So I felt that because of the tools that I had with the speed and as you see in the combine or whatever, and then the strength and powerlifting in the weight room, things like that, I think it helped me be able to play a lot of positions. I think I played just about every position on the defense in college. So, so I felt like that my versatility helped with that,
This past season, you were the preseason Defensive Player of the Year, and throughout your time at Georgetown, you put up 280 tackles and 2 interceptions. Any chance you could tell us about that very first turnover you forced as a Hoya, and who it was against and how it felt like?
Yeah, it was actually against Wagner, and I kind of broke on a play, and the ball ricocheted and bounced off the receiver, and I dove with my left hand and caught it just about one-handed, and that was actually the opening game of my last season. So that was a pretty awesome start to the season. I think it was the first possession too. So that was my first turnover. That's always big for your team and your defense and momentum and everything like that. So that was a great point in my career and everything like that. Just starting off the season like that, that's the way you want to start off.
Absolutely. I'm actually pretty good friends with Wagner running back Dominique Williams. He's a hell of a player out there. And this may be a hard one to answer, but, who do you think has been the toughest player that you've had to go up against that was not on your team?
Well, that is a good question. And you mentioned Dominique Williams. I have a lot of respect for him. We've talked. We've had some pretty good competition over the years. And we talked after our senior year, congratulating each other. And, he's a spectacular player. But there's a lot of guys. I don't even know if I could zone in on one specifically, but, there's a lot of guys in the Patriot League and Ivy League teams that we play that are really talented players. And, it was a privilege to play in a league like that. And, but yeah, say one specifically, someone like Dominique comes to my mind, but there's a lot of players, so yeah.
All right, overall, how would you describe your experience at Georgetown?
Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed the players and the coaches. It really, it was like a brotherhood the first day I came in, and the campus is so nice, and the location in DC and things like that. But it was a great experience, opportunity to play right away as a freshman, and just really felt like I was able to develop in a lot of aspects of my play, playing, like I said before, different positions from D-line to linebacker to safety, and developing in that way. And I think that's going to be hopefully a big help telling scouts and showing NFL guys that I can play any position, special teams, and I just want to be coachable and develop, and I think that has helped throughout my time at Georgetown.
Chris Schanfeld talking with 2014 NFL draft prospect out of Georgetown, Dustin Wharton. And Dustin, you were not invited to Indianapolis to participate in the NFL Combine, but you were invited to the BSN Showcase. And it took place a few weeks ago, and you really turned some heads and impressed many as you ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. You had 30 reps in the bench press, a 40-inch vertical, and a 10-foot, 5-inch broad jump. I got to say, it was a very impressive workout out of you, to say the least. How do you feel you performed at the BSN Showcase?
Well, I appreciate that. I did well. I think I did what I was coming in to do, but there's always room for improvement, and there were a few numbers there which I wasn't too happy with, but you gotta just take it for what it is, and continue to work hard and try and show the next scout, show the next person you're performing for what you're able to do. And I think coming up with the regional combine this weekend that I'm going to at the Ravens facility, and my pro day still coming up, I'm hoping to improve on those numbers, and never be satisfied and show that I'm the best whoever I'm going against. So.
You mentioned the regional combine that's going to be taking place this weekend. Do you know if you're going to be participating in every event, or is there numbers that you had at the BSN Showcase that you're fine with keeping?
I'm going with everything. I want to continue to show that I'm working and getting better. So I'm doing everything, not holding out at all. So.
What would you say that you have a chip on your shoulder because you were not invited to Indianapolis to partake in the NFL Combine?
I wouldn't say that specifically, but I think I always have a chip on my shoulder, whatever it may be. Being underrated in a lot of aspects of my game, I think that I can show what I'm capable of doing, moving around, and I just think that you gotta have a chip in your shoulder if you want to be the best at anything you do, and become the person that you're able to become, with the potential that you have, and to maximize your ability. So I always like to. I'm a competitor at heart, and I always like to have that little chip on my shoulder that people don't always respect you. People don't think you're good enough. Think you're too small or something like that. But I think I always have that on my shoulder, and I think it's a good thing to have, and it balances you out.
Oh, no doubt about that. Dustin, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. I really do appreciate your time. When was it when you began to think that, playing in the NFL may not only be a dream, but it could become a reality?
Yeah, well, becoming a reality, it's still kind of a crazy thing to think about, but I would say about my sophomore year when I really started realizing that I was able to start on this Division I team and really be a contributor that helped. And, I think around then, that point, I really felt like that I was, the best player. And I think that's when I really had this kind of reality check, if you want to say it like that, perspective shift where, this thing could be a reality and you can do it. And seeing some guys on my team over the past few years that have had the shot, I just feel like, here I am, one step away from my dream, and so.
Is there a certain position that, now I know you would play whatever position is asked of you for a professional team, but is there a position that you prefer to play, whether it's safety or linebacker?
Not really. Yeah, I feel like I can play either one. But I would like to show coaches that I can play either one, and whatever they would want me to play, that's what I'll play, and I'll be the best at that, and I'll show them what I got. So it's kind of whatever a team needs, and that's what I feel like is a plus in what I have to offer.
All right, Dustin, is there anybody currently playing in the NFL today that you would compare your game to?
Yeah, I know. I think he's getting old, but Palomalo is someone I really enjoy to watch. He's a tough guy that's probably about my size, 5'11", close to 220, and he's a tough guy. Plays linebacker, rushes the passer, plays safety, and he's hard-nosed and hits people, and he's a leader. And so, if there's one person that I feel that I model my game after, it's a player like that. That's a leader that is a man on and off the field, and just a man that people respect. And I think that's the type of player, and that's the type of tools that I feel I compare to, that I could offer ultimately to a team.
It's amazing because when you mentioned, when you talked a little bit about that first turnover of yours, that one-handed interception when the ball almost touched the ground, the play that went into my head was the Troy Polamalu play. I believe it was maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago when he actually picked off the ball with one hand, and it almost hit the ground. I know it's crazy because it seems like I'm describing the same exact play, but that's amazing right there.
Yeah, I remember that actually. That's cool.
Would you say that play against Wagner was the most memorable play that you've made throughout your college football career, and if not, what was?
Man, there's a ton of enjoyable plays and plays that I'll remember, for a long time. There's actually a couple. The interception for a touchdown, I guess you can't really say much better than that against Davidson. And when you take a pick to the house, there's not much better than that. And then there was another game against Yale where it was in the fourth quarter and we needed a big play on third down. And I had a guy helping me, so I was rushing on the outside and took the inside and had a guy helping on the outside and sacked the quarterback, and my helmet came off. And that was a big play for our team against Yale. And that was a memorable play, though. I'll never forget that one. So.
All right, Dustin, I did some research, and according to ESPN.com, there is not one player from Georgetown that is currently on an NFL roster. It certainly sounds like you're confident that you can change that. Why do you think that you could change that, though?
Yeah, I think I offer tools and abilities that not many people have, and I think I have the ability to. I'm just more. I guess I don't know. It's hard to answer that question. I guess I feel like I offer a lot to the table, and numbers that people haven't seen around this area for a long time. And, I have this desire and a burning desire to chase after my dream and to do it with everything that I have, and ultimately not be satisfied with anything less than that. So I think that's something that can't be compared to, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to show someone what I got and the passion that I have and the type of ability that I have.
Dustin, I know you've been busy with the BSN Showcase. I know you're training for the NFL Regional Combine that's going on this weekend. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, man. I really do appreciate your time. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
I just appreciate this opportunity, to hear me out, and thanks for listening. I hope you'll see my name when I ultimately try and make a name for myself in the league and everything like that. But Chris, I really appreciate your time and this opportunity. It was a great time, and it's an honor to be on your show.
Absolutely. Dustin, the honor was mine. It was a pleasure speaking with you once again. Best of luck, and I'm wishing you nothing but the best, man. Take care.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chris. You too.
Thanks for tuning into the CS Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Please check out all of my past interviews at www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. Once again, that's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at Chris Shanafelt.